Hello, my name is Juanito Dela Cruz, and my presentation today will be on tool control and how it relates to the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter aircraft and its component off-board mission applications and programs. A little about myself: I'm a first-class petty officer in the United States Navy, and I've been in a little over 9 years. I started my career in Lemoore, California at my first command, VFA-14, working on the F-18 Echo Super Hornet. A little over 5 years I spent there, and then I transferred to Eglin Air Force Base in Florida, where I was stationed at VFA-101. This is where I got my first taste of the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter and how much more different it is compared to conventional and what we like to call legacy aircraft. I spent 2 years there before the squadron was deactivated in favor of consolidating all F-35C assets to Lemoore, California, which will be the site and future home port for all future F-35C squadrons. From there, I was fortunate enough to get orders to the Joint Strike Fighter Wing, based out of Lemoore, California, which is where I'm currently stationed. I work with a very knowledgeable and senior group of sailors whose primary focus is to assess and make policy regarding all Naval Aviation Maintenance Program, what we like to call the NAMP, related programs and activities as it relates to the F-35C Joint Strike Fighter. Currently, I'm assigned as the Battery Maintenance Handling and Safety Program Manager for all F-35C squadrons attached to the Joint Strike Fighter Wing, and subsequently all F-35Cs attached to Naval Air Station Lemoore. From here, I'll move on to the topic of today's discussion, which is NAP-directed tool control as it relates to the F-35s and its primary off-board mission program, which all aircraft status, maintenance, and supply information funnel through, which we like to call ALICE, or the Autonomic Logistics Information System. Let me start by breaking down the basics of the tool control program as laid out in the NAMP. Here are the basics that we historically adapted through any and all legacy computerized maintenance recording programs in naval aviation. At a minimum, to stay within compliance of the NAMP, information presented in regarding to tool control must have the following information. It must contain the name of the person the tool is issued to, the assigned container number, locker or wallboard number, and inventory number of the tool, the job control number, maintenance action form control number, or tool for the tool which is being used, the date and time the tool is checked out, and a signature by a supervisor or collateral duty inspector verifying the tool, as well as the date and time checked in with the associated signature. Once all of these things have been logged, the maintainer can go out and perform whatever maintenance task or action that he or she is going to perform and stay within compliance of the Naval Aviation Program, maintenance program. This sounds simple enough. We track this information both physically through a tool log in each work center of the squadron, which is used to account for tools leaving and returning from the shop, but also digitally through whatever computerized system is associated to that maintainer's type, model, series aircraft. From here, I'll introduce you to the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter. This is the newest and most sophisticated strike fighter aircraft employed by multiple services of the U.S. military, including the Air Force, Navy, and Marine Corps, and has 3 different variants that have the capability of operating in several varying areas under varying conditions depending on the mission and the capability of the service. Along with being a multi-service platform, it is also an international joint service platform, which also have to meet the needs of the countries that have bought into the program. Countries like the United Kingdom, Australia, Italy, Japan, the Netherlands, Denmark, and many others all have bought into and have a stake in how the F-35 program as a whole progresses in the future. As I've stated, there are three distinct variants of the aircraft the conventional takeoff and landing A model, the short takeoff vertical landing B model, and the carrier variant C model. All three variants use a one-size-fits-all off-board mission support system to track flight information and maintenance data, and that system is called the Autonomic Logistics Information System, also known as ALICE. ALICE provides an unprecedented level of integration and standardization among all service components and partner nation militaries, which are all gathered and stored through one mission support system. In practice, the scope that ALICE reaches encompasses several different aspects of not only operations and maintenance activities, but also supporting entities such as supply chain, base supply, training, depot level maintenance, fleet sustainment and management. This sounds like the ideal system in a perfect world, but also leads into major problems when it comes to integrating into existing standards and practices. Specifically for the F-35C, the one-size-fits-all model of ALICE does not speak directly to the criteria of the Naval Aviation Maintenance Program and stay within its guidelines. Due to its multi-service focused approach, ALICE currently does not give the capability to search for tools that are within its system's inventory in a way that a regular Navy aircraft maintainer can identify the said asset as a toolbox that he or she would regularly use for maintenance. For example, ALICE currently does not have the capability or support to search for tools designated and prescribed within the Naval Aviation Maintenance Program 4790.2 Charlie. For example, the organizational code, work center code, and tool container number. As an example, PJ1 220 1 TAC 1 being organizational code for VFA 101, work center 220, tool container 1 TAC 1. The existing tool containers that are located into ALICE for use or checkout must be cross-referenced with the Lockheed Martin part number associated to that particular toolbox number for accurate checkout and use through that system. This is an issue because in both Navy and Marine Corps aviation, the practice of having checks and balances and redundancy is something that is taught and preached to us at a young part of our careers. Being able to have multiple eyes on something and making sure that things are correct in all of those eyes is essential to maintaining mission readiness. The same concept is applied to checking tools in and out. A worker, in this case, checking his own tools in and out without a CDI or a collateral duty inspector or supervisor's signature to verify that all those tools are accounted for is counter what we have been taught throughout our career. ALICE does not also have the capability currently to allow for a CDI or supervisor to verify the worker's tool control accountability through the system and allows the worker to sign for his own tools. Now, why is this important? The F-35 community is only going to expand in the coming years and does not show any sign of slowing down. Even now, more and more countries are buying into the F-35 platform, while numbers of use in the U.S. military branches are only increasing. to meet the new challenges that the country faces in the future. Currently, the method that Navy maintainers are using puts less emphasis on the importance of tool control and is moving away from the model that all other aircraft platforms in the Navy follow. Currently, squadrons are using a somewhat modified method to meet the guidelines of the Naval Aviation Maintenance Program as best as they can, but there needs to be a better way to streamline it. Whether that means better policies and practices need to be made at the wing level, or a revamp of Alice to better accomplish the task and still stay within compliance of the NAP must be made. Doing this prevents the future breeding of the current culture of complacency within the F-35 community as it relates to tool control, and will ultimately prevent the occurrence of defects and limit maintenance and flight mishaps in the future as the program progresses. Thank you for your time, and have a good day.